Oh, hi students. Here's the video for if you missed class for the week of, I guess it's 5/10, May 10 till May 16, 17. So we're doing our remote, well, this is a remote recording, but this is the Grand Canyon Rock Layers comic strip project. And so it's a first project we've had in a bunch of weeks. And what you're going to be doing is creating a comic strip that illustrates the formation of 4 rock layers in the Colorado Plateau. So comic strip, you're drawing the formation of 4 rock layers that we have been talking about. So what have we been talking about? Limestone, sandstone, and shale. So picture the environments that those rock layers formed in. That's what you're going to be drawing. And if you don't remember, what environments does limestone form in, sandstone form in, shale? What are those ancient environments we've talked about? That's fine. You can look back at your notebooks that we did in order to remember. Those are your best resource for trying to remember, what it is the environment that forms limestone. And I'll show you some examples too. Your comic strip must contain a picture of the environment in which the layer formed, living organisms and the fossils they would form in each environment, a record of all previous rock layers at the bottom, color, and then this complete slideshow submitted on Schoology. Here's what your project might look like when you're done. Here, this is showing when Hermit Shale formed, when Coconino Sandstone formed, when Torweep Limestone formed, and when Kaibab Limestone formed. The thing to notice is that as each time the environments change, you get a new layer of sedimentary rock, and the fossils stick in those layers. So like here, Hermit Shale formed, and we had a trilobite swimming in that swamp. When it dies, it becomes a fossil in the shale. So, 100 million years later, when it's environment 2, and it's a desert, sort of with maybe some ocean nearby. So maybe it's like a beach, not really a desert at all. We could call that. You still see the trilobite in the shale layer below the current sediment that's there. So the current sediment is sand, but you still see the shale from environment 1 because that layer is still down there. Okay, then Torweep limestone layer starts to form. So you see the sandstone layer that was there from the previous environment and the shale layer at the bottom. So each time you see they build up on top of the previous layers that formed in the previous environments. And that's what it's like at the Grand Canyon, right? These are the layers that are actually there. The environments have changed there over millions and millions of years to form different types of fossilized creatures in the different layers of rock. So you see over time the environment's changed. And these are not like the best pictures of it, and I don't really like how they don't line up, but I made these on canvas, chrome canvas, and then I inserted them. So you could do it that way. Or like in this example, this person had hand drawn it, and she used color, but you just can't see the color because the way that I copied it on here with a copier, you just can't see the colors, but they're there on the actual document. But here you see, I like the way she did hers because she has her desert with her sandstone forming. Then the lizard is a fossil in the sandstone in environment 2 because there's been an environmental change. And then you see a layer of shale forming in a swamp. Environment 3 is more like a desert again, and you see that the layer of shale is here with that fossil leaf and the lizard sandstone still at the bottom. In environment 4, you see that the new environment is an ocean with limestone forming, and then the sandstone is below that, and then the shale is below that, and then the sandstone is below that. So as these environments change, like new layers of sedimentary rock are still forming underground. So that's another example of how you might fill that out. If you hand draw it, you have to insert the image. So you could take a picture with your Chromebook, and then you'd insert image, upload from computer, and let's see. Did I do that today? Thought I did. So many images that I've taken on here from science class. I don't see the one that I took today of my picture. Will it show up there? No. All right. You'll insert an image here. You may have to crop it. So when you crop, you double tap on it, and then you can crop it big and small. You also can make it look more light colored, which can be nice. Like sometimes the images are really dark, and you have to increase the brightness to make it look good. And sometimes increasing the contrast is kind of good. But you can obviously do that too much and it doesn't look good. I'm going to just hit enter and then it saves it. So you should do that with environment 1 and fill in the information here. Environment 2, environment 3, environment 4. Each time I filled in the info about what type of rock I was forming and what's the organism, I have to look up time period. I'll show you how to look that up. And I have to look up type of sediment, and I'll show you how to look that up. Okay, how do you know which rocks to do? You could choose any rock layers to start with. I would just choose one of the bottom 4 to start with. So like for your first environment, you could do Hermit Shale, Supai Group, Red Wall Limestone, or Moab Limestone. So that would be your environment 1. I just chose Hermit Shale for my environment 1. I don't know why, I just wanted to draw a swamp. And then Hermit Shale, and then my next environment, I know what that's going to be because it's got to be on top of the Hermit Shale. So my next environment will be this Coconino Sandstone environment, which is like a desert. Although it does say it has reptile and insect tracks. So it sounds kind of deserty to me. And so that would be my environment 2. Then my environment 3 would have to be this next one. So it kind of goes like this. 1, 2, my environment 2. Here's my environment 3. And then I know my kaibab is my last environment because it's on top of the third one. So those are the 4 I showed. I could just delete these because I don't need to see them. So here's my 4 environments that I did for my comic. Okay, you can pick which 4 you want to do. Maybe you did not want to do those 4. Maybe you wanted to start with Moab or Red Wall and go up from there. That's your choice. But that tells you what the rock layer types are that you're going to be putting in your document. And then how do you figure out, like, well, here, this will tell you what fossils that you could put in your environment. So like trilobites are those little funny insect swimming creatures. You could Google them and see a picture of that. But it also lists, sorry, I'm so yawny. So it also lists all these other fossils that are in all the different rock layers. Okay, how do you figure out the ages? Go to rock column ages to figure out for time period and how old it is. You should go to rock column ages. So it says bottom link. So I need to figure out how old is Hermit Shale. What's the time period that Hermit Shale formed in? So I see it's right here. 4, layer 4 on this picture. So here's the shale, 280 million years old. 280 million years old. And it formed during the Permian period. This is also on the last notebook we did. So if you wanted to look back at your very last notebook, that would tell you that too. So I'm going to say 280 million years Old Permian period. Now, what type of sediment? What type of sediment is shale made out of? Well, I know this, but I'm going to look it up to show you how to look it up. I would need to go to my sedimentary rock formation notebook. And then look at the document. Hopefully you did this. So you can use this as a resource because it should say what sediments are in it. For shale, it should say, we should have filled this in class, clay and silt. Let's say you don't have this because you weren't in class, then you should just Google it. What sediments are in hermit shale? And Googling will give you an answer to that too. Google can be a good resource. So I would say clay and silt. I don't know what size to be. I want it to be all one size. Okay, now this slide is done. I can copy this picture. I already did this, but I put it for my first frame of my comic already. So that's what you'll need to do once you're done. Okay, so this is a completed project. I am ready to submit on Schoology at this point. Okay, yours should look like your unique project. It shouldn't look identical to mine, of course. Hopefully you have different environments that you showed because maybe you didn't just go in the exact same order as me. Or you maybe could show different organisms or just draw it in a different way, but yours should not be identical to mine. Okie dokie. Please email me if you do have questions on this, and do remember to submit on Schoology when you're done. All right, good luck.